Good evening and a happy Yom Tov. Good Yom Tov. Pesach Sheni. What is the second Passover? What are we celebrating? And why are we celebrating second Passover? So, as an introduction before we start, we need to know that every day we have a purpose. Every day there is a mission we need to accomplish. Hashem created time. And time is one of the most marvelous creation Hashem did that has such an important significance that we cannot imagine living outside of time. So this whole world is God's creation. I mean, we can imagine, you have inanimate, you have animals, you have plants, you have humans. I mean, we can imagine living without horses, okay? It won't be a complete world, but we can imagine. You can imagine without having certain kind of trees. The world will survive. But we can't imagine not to live within the realm of time. Why? Because time is such an important creation that is an essential. So God created space and time. Okay. Within the creation of time, Hashem created that as the first 6 days of creation, God is creating the world every single moment and every single day since that time. So on the first day of creation, there was Sunday. Every Sunday is a new creation, like before. Every Monday is a new creation like before. And therefore, we must value time. Specifically nowadays, we count the time. Today is, I counted, so 29 days, which is 4 weeks and 1 day for the Omer. Now that we value every single day, there is a specific mission we need to accomplish every single day. We can't say, oh, another day went by, not so important, it wasn't so successful. No, every day has to be successful, has to have an impact on us and an impact on our environment. The uniqueness and specialty of being a human being, or not, but anything in creation, and that Zach specifically talks to you, is that a person is both giver, gives to others, and receives from others. Nobody is only receiving or only giving. That exists throughout creation. Okay? So throughout creation, there has to be a motive of giving and accepting, and therefore, it gives you importance. You are a unique person. You are important, and that brings you to personal and internal joy that I can give to others. Yes, I receive from others, but I also give to others.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
As you're saying this, as both of you guys know, Rachel and Leonard don't, but both of you know from my text that last night I had an aha moment. And sometimes we have aha moments in our life. And last night I had an aha moment on my own behavior. And Dr. Holder knew all along. He knew for over 6 months, but he chose to not reveal it to me so that I would learn it myself. And I guess that was the correct decision because me learning it myself cemented it further, cemented it into me, and it was actually an aha moment.
Okay. You want to say what it is or no?
Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I'll share. Yeah. I mean, we're all dealt a different hand in life. And I was born to a single mother who, maybe had her own behaviors. And the behavior I identified yesterday in my kitchen after a phone call from Dr. Holder and reflecting back and looking at a text message was the behavior was narcissistic tendency, and so that's what I identified and realized that maybe uh that's something I should work on.
Get in line. Pull a number.
We all have narcissistic tendencies.
Mike,
Well, we're talking about Pesach, and Pesach has a direct connection with narcissism, which you can equate to this Hebrew word called gaiva. And on Pesach, there's chametz, okay, which represents an expansion, an increase in chametz, which is gaiva. Gaiva is a very difficult uh, thing to deal with, but it's a gift. The very negative things we think are negative and a problem, like even a sickness or a disease, God forbid. Why would God give us these things? So we could do tshuva, so we could learn how not to do that anymore, to go there anymore, to be a part of that, or be consumed by that. So once we achieve that, we're in such a better place that words can't even explain it.
yeah, and I was doing a lot of self-reflection last night after having that aha moment. And by the way, just to clarify here, Dr. Holder, you chose to not tell me, right?
Well, yeah, I told you I wasn't going to tell you.
Yeah. You told me that if you
Why? It wouldn't mean anything. What would you do with it?
So
Your denial would dispose of it very quickly.
Yes.
Okay.
So you did
but we got to get on Pesach Sheni.
Okay.
It's a second Pesach. It's a second chance.
Okay.
Tonight is Pesach Sheni.
I have something also to say, but after Dr.
Okay.
Levin, yeah.
So
Okay.
we talk about time, about the importance of giving and receiving. And the Lubavitcher Rebbe has a special way of analyzing a situation and making it applicable to every single person. So when the Rebbe says that a person is receiving and giving, in a way, receiving means that you are lacking something. Okay, you're lacking something, you're missing, and somebody is giving it to you. On the other hand, the person who gave it to you, who is at that point is a giver, you and him together complete the creation of the world, in which God created a world of giving and receiving. So lacking something is not a deficiency. It's part of God's intention because he created the world which is not complete. He created a world that is missing human effort, human interpretation, and human input. This story happened in the desert a few months after receiving the Torah. After leaving Egypt, there were people who carried the coffin of Yosef HaTzadik, Yosef HaTzadik.
Mhm.
They carried him through the desert, and because they were carrying a dead person, they were impure, spiritually impure. They were not dirty, they were just impure. You touch a dead person. So when God commanded them, when they wanted to bring the sacrifice of Pesach, they couldn't do it because they were impure. So there wasn't a commandment to do Pesach if you're impure. The commandment was, do the Pesach. If you're impure, you cannot do it. So they could have come up and said, okay, we don't have to do it. We don't care. We don't need to do it.
Yeah, we're off the hook.
If God wanted us to do it, he would have told us to do it. He doesn't want us to do it because of a situation we are in. So we are, as Dr. Holder said, we're off the hook. And they were not simple people. You can imagine if somebody was chosen to carry the coffin of Yosef HaTzadik was not a simple person. He was a righteous man who believed in God and believed in Moshe Rabbeinu and believed that everything they said is true. So instead of accepting their fate of saying, we were not merited to bring it because we have a different job, what do? They go and they said to Moshe Rabbeinu, excuse me, we're missing something. We're missing because we haven't, everybody brought the Pesach sacrifice and we don't. We are missing that mitzvah. We would like to feel it also, to fulfill it. So Moshe Rabbeinu was astonished. He didn't expect it. And Hashem was very happy that they requested it. And when they requested it, Hashem said, I'm going to give you, in a month from now, you'll be able to purify yourself. In a month from now, you can bring that sacrifice.
The second Pesach.
A month later, which is now we are a month after the first Passover. So the Rebbe is learning a very, very important lesson in two ways. The first way is, it doesn't matter if you are an important person or a simple person. You need to feel that the connection with God is infinite. Don't be satisfied with the little that you do. God is infinite. Search for opportunities to serve God. Search for new ideas in Torah. Every person has a part in Torah. Every person can bring something new within Torah. So you can say, okay, God didn't make me so smart, and I don't really want to do something new, and I'm happy the way I am, and I'm just going to continue this my life. But God says, no, I want you to find something new within Torah. He wants our effort and participation. Now there can be, let's say, presidents, prime ministers, senators, whatever political or social figures people will be, CEO of a company, whatever that is. They'll say, oh, you know what, I'm involved in the highest level. I have to be always, my mind has to think. I don't have to do simple things like kindness, or I don't have to put on tefillin. I have something bigger to do in my life. No. The bigger you are, you have to do the simple mitzvahs. And on the other hand, simple people cannot say, who am I? I'm nobody. I don't really worth much. Why do I have to do it? It's not for me.
I never did it before. Why should I start now?
Yeah. So the Rebbe says, learn from these righteous people. They came and they said, we are missing something. And the Rebbe now spoke for another hour. Hour on that topic. And he explained, going from step to step to step to step, that we are missing something. And the Rebbe elevates us and show us, what else are you missing? What else are you missing? What else are you missing? We're missing Mashiach. He says, if you don't feel you miss Mashiach, then something is wrong. You have to feel you're missing Mashiach. And we can learn the Sikha. You can see it on video. It's an hour and a half, or we're going to see some videos. But the idea is that we have to feel that we are not complete, we are not perfect, it's never too late, and God does want us to bring something from within us. And there is this famous, we're going to see a video of some people, I'm going to play it right now, of people who were at the lowest point, and they changed themselves slowly but surely. They changed themselves and brought themselves to improve, and be who they can be potentially, and they trusted God, that God is leading them in the right path. Let me show you those few videos, and then we'll keep on
Are you
talking.
celebrating a second Passover, the whole thing, Seder's and
Oh, no. That's not
Not
what.
Seder's. It's basically eating matzah and having a pure intent when you eat matzah. And understanding that it's never too late to do tshuva. He's giving you a second chance.
Okay, let's see this video.
Yeah, it's not. It's not a whole Haggadah and say. Yeah, it's not, those two things. Matzah, lots of matzah.
Okay, let me put the English.
Start tonight and all day tomorrow.
Let me put the English translation.
so how long does this last?
This video?
No, Pesach
No.
Sheni.
The matzah.
One day, today,
Yeah.
tomorrow.
A Jewish day from the evening now it begins and ends through tomorrow
But the idea is second
until
chance.
nighttime.
I happen to have an unopened box of matzah from last month. So
Okay,
so now you know why
I'll
you
break
have
it open.
Now you know why you have it.
There you go.
I have none. I gave it all away.
No, I've got.
You want a box
If you want
tomorrow?
some, I'll give you some.
Yeah, okay, give
I
me.
have some.
Okay,
Want
let's see
some
the
Montreal?
video. Then we'll talk. Yeah, let's see.
אומר לי הרב פרנקל, חמיז אצל, תראה עכשיו י"ד אייר, פסח שני, אומרים לי שאחרי הצהריים יש התוועדות גדולה שהרבי מלובביץ' נותן מאמר, שיחה, שיעור. אתה רוצה לבוא? הכינו לנו מקום מאחורי השולחן הגדול, מרכז השולחן הגדול. וישבתי שם על יד השוור. והתחיל להרצות שיעור בין 3 ל-4 שעות. כל כמה רגעים קיבלתי בירך מכה מהשוור, אמר לי, זה הסתזזך? אתה רואה דבר כזה? עוד תשפזיך הצטל. שנישקה אין גרמנצ'יק. ראשונים ואחרונים נגלה ונסתר, הלכה ואגדה, חסידות, וכל השיעור היה מסביב לנקודה אחת. מה זה פסח שני?
Der Limut von Pesach Sheni ist, als in die Token verfallen. Bedugme, wie sie gewähren, a viele Samen, was sie gewähren, Atome. Und gewähren, Achman in Islam, gewähren mit der Cheke. Und noch mehr, als sie gar gewähren, Lochem. Gar allein schuldig in der. Konne sich trachten, als sie verfallen, der Linie nach Pesach, kommt sie gehen Pesach Sheni und sagt ihm, als in die Token verfallen. Du bist haben a Pesach und Matzes mit dem Reilim, וכמה פרוטים שבדובר.
פסח שני זה הגרעין של חזרה בתשובה.
היה מבריח שהוא חבר שלי, שהוא גר בקרונץ. הוא היה בביזנס. לצערנו, הוא ירד מרוח יהדות ונכנס לא יולנו לסמים, כל מיני דברים הגרועים ביותר מה שיכול רק לתת. המשפחה ידעה שאני חבר שלו, הוציא אותי לחו"ל, אולי אני יכול לעזור לו אישית. ישבנו כל הלילה עד ששכנעתי אותו לכתוב מכתב וישב וכתב מכתב איתי ביחד על מה שעבר עליו, איך שהוא הגיע לכל הסיפור. הוא לא רצה שנכתוב את המכתב למזכירות, יראו מה שהוא כתב לרבי. הוא התבייש. הבטחתי לו שאני אכניס את זה בבית של הרבי. אחד הדברים שהרבי, ראשי פרקים שהרבי אמר לאברך, אתה כותב לי שעד תאריך זה וזה, עד לפני חצי שנה, היית בסדר. אז סימן שאתה יכול להימנע מלהידרדר, מסמים וכולו, ועוד דברים שאין טעם להביא את זה בפרסום. כמובן מכתב חם וחריף. אני מצטט את הסוף של המכתב, לסיכום בידו של האברך, לבטל הרגלים הנ"ל, ובקל הרבה יותר מה שהוא משער.
Hängt ab von ihm, als kann das Naschung sein, wird können Apfel, Pivas durchgegangen. Kamen wir kamen Jomi, wenn wir mit sein kein Nigora has schon. Nicht nur mir sagt es ihm, der soll mit sein, was ich auch gefallen. Und soll sein nur mit ihm, was das ist verfällt, der Tag im Maschli. Bis in der Nähe von mir ist die Jano, weil die alle Tage, was sie gewähren, verdelt.
In Tashin Yutes, I went on Merkez Sheikhs to the Caribbean islands. When I landed at the airport in Barbados, a person comes over to me. Oh, Yid, you see on the faces a Yid, a Europe Yid. And he says to me, ich habe gelernt in der Zeitung, als ein Schlichen von Lubavitcher Rebbe. Und fährt darum zu Machazig sein Jüdischkeit. Lass mich erzählen, wer ich bin. Ich bin a Kakafter der Monat Tfilin. Ich bin Nebuchadnezzar Machal Shabbos. Und ich bin Euchel Tafes. Azevi, these were his words. Ein Chovish Mater Atzme Beis Asirim. Seid mir Maske zum Rebbe. Der Rebbe came a rausschleppen von Borta. His name was Aya Leib Speisman. He came to Barbados from Lublin. It was Mamash Yedaya Sefer. I said to him, you darfst kommen zum Rebbe.
Jeder darf wissen, dass sie kein wohl nicht so verfallen, auf viele mesesibische Tiere. Oder niederton in Maginien, der Pavesel gewähren bei der Cheiko, weit von Jüdischkeit, nicht wie es gedacht stehen, lohn zur Jüdischkeit. Jeder Jid ist lohn zur Jüdischkeit. Aber man hat in sich, Achilles bekam imal Mamosh, wo das ist da bechol Echad Beachas mi Israel.
משרד החינוך הודיע לי, המנהל המליץ עלייך לעבור ללמד בתקומה, יש כיתה מאוד מיוחדת. אף ילד מהם לא מסוגל ללמוד במסגרת של בית ספר, עשו להם מסגרת מיוחדת, הם הוציאו אותם מהבתים, יכולים להיות אפילו בפנימייה. תיקים במשטרה, וסיפורי זוועות, ילדים פשוט ממקום של מצוקה. סיפרתי את הכל לרבה, והרבה אמר שאם אני באמת אתקשר לילדים ואוהב אותם כמו שצריך, אז הם יקבלו השפעה. ברוך השם, עברה תקופה נחמדה, סידרנו אותם בבתי ספר דתיים תיכוניים, כאילו זה היה כאילו הכנה לתיכון, חוץ מבת אחת. לצערי הרב, חזרה לבית שלה, אמא שלה חיה עם ערבי, אי אפשר לעשות שום דבר. ניסיתי להוציא את הילדה, אפילו לקחת אותה, ואני אסדר אותה באיזה מקום. עליית הנוער הייתה עוזרת לי גם. אז האבא אמר, תשמעי, אני יודע איפה את גרה, אני יודע מי את. האבא, זה לא האבא, זה הרבי הזה. אני פשוט ארצח אותך. כתבתי לרבי. הרבי אמר, את יודעת את יום ההולדת שלה? אמרתי, כן. הרבי אמר שאני אגיד את הפרק שלה, ואני אדע מתי להחליף אותו. יותר אני לא אחשוב על זה ולא אתעסק עם זה. במשך 14 שנה, הייתי פה בכפר חב"ד, אמרתי את הפרק שלה.
Resser das wegen der Mini von Pesach Sheni. Was in Joni von Pesach Sheni, was sich Masbil gewähnt, ist sie der Reine, als sie kein Wohl nicht verfallen.
Eventually, Speisman came to Brooklyn, and I arranged for him a yechidus. In the meantime, he started a correspondence with the Rebbe. The Rebbe told Yochanan Gordon to give this person an aliyah in his minyan. He was a Levi by the Rebbe's minyan.
ערב חג השבועות, ועמוס היה הרי מנחה בכל מיני בתי חב"ד לכבוד קבלת התורה. ניגשה אליו אישה, ואמרה לו, המורה, אני חייב לדבר איתך. אתה הבעל של המורה שלי מתקומה, נכון? אני מחפשת אותה.
ישבנו ביחד, קראנו את המכתב, הוא התחיל להישבר, התחיל לבכות, זה נגע באברך כבר לעומק הנשמה, והוא חזר. אברך כאברך, שכחנו מה סיפור הישן.
היא אחר כך התקשרה אליי, נתנה לה את הטלפון, היא סיפרה, הייתה מדחי אל דחי, יד לאחים הצילו אותה, וגם חיתנו אותה. יש לה ילדה אחת, והם דתיים, שומרים תורה ומצוות. ואז סיפרתי לה על הפרק שהרבא אמר לי להגיד, והציל אותה.
כל הרעיון של חזרה בתשובה, לתת הזדמנות שנייה, להיוולד מחדש.
ומזוקתם תירה סמך, הדוס ההירו הניצחיס, דוס בכל התקף, בזמן זה, ובמוקים זה, ובכל אחד ויחד.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Wow, I've never seen that video.
that is heavy.
Oof.
That is heavy.
Did you get the stories, guys? You understand? It talks to us. It talks to us.
Wow.
Let's learn about Geula, about redemption.
Okay.
Because redemption has to do with us. We are the generation of redemption. That's why we have to learn about it. And we have to ask for redemption, because without it, we're not complete. Okay. In the Rambam's description of the Messianic era, he does not mention of the arrival of Mashiach ben Yosef. Okay, so there are two Mashiach. There is Mashiach ben David and Mashiach ben Yosef. Yosef, you remember there were 12 tribes of Yaakov. Yosef was one son. Yehuda was another son. David came from Yehuda. So there was a discussion in previous weeks that we didn't learn about why the Rambam does not talk about Mashiach ben Yosef. So now we're going to learn one more thing. Further explanation for why Rambam does not write about the coming of Mashiach ben Yosef can be gleaned from the Rambam's general approach to the events that will precede and take place during the Messianic era. So we are now in the Messianic era. The simple interpretation of the prophet's words implies that the war of Gog and Magog will take place at the beginning of the Messianic era. So Gog and Magog are two empires, like, empires. The US is an empire. The Eastern world is an empire. Iran was an empire, so there is a war. Russia is an empire. They're all wars. So what is Gog and Magog? Some people say it already happened, Second World War, but Mashiach didn't come yet. But we are in the Messianic era. Before the war of Gog and Magog, a prophet will arise that to inspire the Jewish people to be upright and prepare their hearts as diverse states. Behold, I am sending you Eliyahu Navi, who is going to Eliyahu Navi is going to come and tell us about Mashiach arrivals. There are some sages who say that Eliyahu will come before Mashiach. All these and similar matters cannot be definitely known by men until they occur. For these matters are undefined in the prophet's words, and even the wise men have no established tradition regarding these matters except their own interpretation of the verses. Therefore, there is a controversy among them regarding these matters. Regardless of the debate concerning these questions, neither the order of occurrence of these events or their precise details are among the fundamental principles of the faith. We don't have to know all these details. A person should not occupy himself with the agadot and homiletics concerning these and similar matters, nor should he consider them as essentials, for study of them will neither bring fear or love of Hashem. This is in Hilchos Melachim, the laws of Melachim and the laws of Mashiach. So the Rebbe says like this: while Rambam acknowledges that certain events will occur as part of the unfolding of the Messianic era, such as the war of Gog and Magog and the Prophet Eliyahu arrival, Rambam's approach is not to get into the details of how these Messianic events will develop when they are indefinite and or not fundamental to the mandatory belief in Mashiach and his coming. Thus, it is possible that Rambam did not mention Mashiach ben Yosef because the details of his coming are not fundamental. Another possible reason for Rambam's omission of Mashiach ben Yosef can be understood from our previously explanation that Rambam discusses Mashiach from the lens of the Jewish people. From this perspective, Mashiach is primarily a Jewish king whose role is to facilitate the complete fulfillment of Torah and mitzvahs. Okay, so Mashiach's role is to facilitate the complete fulfillment of Torah and mitzvahs. So if we do not, and we do not yet fulfill the Torah and mitzvahs completely, we are missing something. Okay, I'm just adding a little paragraph in here. So from the 613 mitzvahs we have, we can only fulfill 86 mitzvahs or 84 mitzvahs. That's it. Just about 12-13%.
Until
Mashiach comes.
Dr. Levin, you said 84 can only happen
now.
Wow.
You can only do 84 of the laws.
If you don't live in Israel, you cannot do mitzvahs. If you don't have the Beis Hamikdash, you cannot bring sacrifices. You cannot do a lot of mitzvahs. If you're not a Kohen, you cannot do a mitzvahs. There are many mitzvahs that we cannot do, but in general, we can only do up to about 84
at this time.
Yeah.
Okay.
It can thus be argued that in the context of halacha, Mashiach ben Yosef does not play an integral role to the Messianic era. Therefore, Rambam, who discusses the Messianic era strictly from a halachic perspective, does not mention him. We may further suggest the accounts attributed to Mashiach ben Yosef in Midrash indicate that he initiates the Messianic era through waging wars and gathering many of the exiled Jews. Rambam attributes these activities to the role of Mashiach ben David.
Yeah, in other words, we have 13 principles of faith, okay, and the details of how, when, what he looks like, what's going to happen, the order, whatever, is not one of them. It is that we believe that Mashiach is going to occur, is going to come, and that we have to want him. Nothing more.
The Chafetz Chaim, in his Tzipiti LeYeshua, says, but when you go up to heaven, you will be asked 7 questions. And one of the questions that you'll be asked before you're admitted to Gan Eden is, did you actively want and anticipate and work and think about Mashiach all the time? That is one of the major questions you're going to be asked. That is in connection with Mashiach. I took another approach to Pesach Sheni, starting with Dr. Levin's time and space. The impetus of Pesach Sheni was that we, as a people, or whoever couldn't perform the first Pesach, actively asked for it. It came not as a mitzvah from Hashem. It came because we, as a people, asked for it. And I looked, and then something struck me. And even though he doesn't publish his shiurim, I remember them. And he gave a shiur on Benot Tzlachot last year. And I began to think, the text connection between Pesach Sheni, between asking Moses for the Pesach Sheni, was Lama Nigra. Why should we be diminished? Why should we miss out on doing this mitzvah? If you jump to Benot Tzlachot, only other time in the Torah that uses that word, Lama Yigra. Why should we be diminished on not getting a portion of land because our father had no boys? The second connection, at both requests from Benot Tzlachot and from the Pesach Sheni people, Moshe didn't know how to answer. He said he has to go ask Hashem. The third connection, in both cases, it says that a new law was given, and this is what he emphasized a year ago, and it is for Dorei Dorot. It carries on to future generations. These two events of Benot Tzlachot and Pesach Sheni, I think, should be connected. Comes from the same base, comes from the connection of events. However, I was trying to think what differentiates. Okay, remember Pesach Sheni happened 1 year into the travels of the desert. When we come to Sefer Devarim, we start off, that's where we find Pesach Sheni in the Torah, in chapter, I think 9. And it says that actively these people asked Moshe. The rest of Sefer Devarim is a descent. I think there's Korah, the Misananim, there's Korah. Everything falls apart in the middle of Sefer Devarim. However, Sefer Devarim doesn't end, but towards the end we have Parshas Pinchas. That's where Benot Tzlachot is. And it comes to frame the last book of the Torah, that when we actively ask for something, Hashem will always give us a second chance. And the Devarim is framed by these two events, Benot Tzlachot first, by Pesach Sheni, and then Benot Tzlachot. And then I began to think further, because I think a lot. And I think that I would even maybe venture to say, I don't know, I haven't really completed this whole thought, that Pesach Sheni has to do with time, a time for the Korban Pesach. Benot Tzlachot has to do with space, a Yerusha, a plant. Both of them are required in addition to all the other requests. Both time and both space are required to bring the Geula. And as you go into Eretz Yisrael, what did they do? Did they do a bris milah before they went in? Did they have a Korban Pesach when they went in? I think they did. So I look at Pesach Sheni as something that's so fantastic. In other words, it encompasses a lot of the things we learn and a lot of the things that we hope to learn. And the promise of second chances, the message is so beautiful. And it means, Zach, you can change your ways. It's never too late. That's the simpler message. But I like to look at Pesach Sheni and Benot Tzlachot biyachad with time and space and requests and textual analysis. Those are my thoughts on Pesach Sheni. Thank you for doing Pesach Sheni.
You're welcome. The Rebbe does speak about Benot Tzlachot in the same sikha. I just didn't have an hour and a half to go over all the details.
I haven't listened to the sikha.
Okay. It's not sikha.
I don't think I would
it's not
understand
short.
his mamarim.
It's not short. It's the expanded edition.
But yeah. Okay, but I think it's not just Zach. It's not just for you. It's for us too. It's for me. It's for
Yeah,
It's for me too.
God.
What's for you?
no. It's Pesach Sheni. A second chance is for all of us
Yes.
because nobody is perfect.
It's only possible because God made the world that way. Our world that we exist in is three-dimensional. That is how time is possible and how time is very important and the term that people rattle off has real meaning in the space of time. Okay, in the space of time, or the time-space continuum, or all these different terms. Okay, all communication in the third dimension, not only three-dimensional, but all communication's tonal. So that means time is what it's all about.
All communication's tonal.
Yeah, that means everything is frequency-based, and frequency is based on time.
So,
In other words, how often does something occur in a period of time? A Hertz frequency is when the component of 1 second. But our life is not limited to 1 second. It's bigger than that.
if somebody is vibrating at a high frequency, then they are going to attract other high frequency things in their life, correct?
I have no idea.
No, if you look for God in your everyday life, you will realize that He's there with you. I'll give you an example. Sure. You want a really concrete example?
Okay.
It's a silly example, but it's something that you could understand.
Okay.
I once a month give a shiur to the ladies. For the last 2 weeks, I've been coughing my guts out. Okay. Comes on Rosh Chodesh. I said, how am I going to give this shiur? I'm going to be coughing in everybody's faces. After 2 minutes, nobody's going to want to listen to me. So I swung a little cough suppressant, and I said, I'm going to try. I looked at the shiur again. I videotaped it. I did not cough once. 25 minutes. 25 minutes I gave that shiur. There wasn't one cough. You could ask Dr. Levin how I coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed and coughed.
Yeah.
Hashem did me a chesed. He allowed me to give the shiur, and I didn't have to interrupt. But
you performed. You stepped into the plate.
No. I don't think of myself. I don't think of giving a shiur as performing. Hashem allowed me to impart Torah knowledge to the ladies. He did me a chesed. It's so clear to me. What I want to tell you is this. If you look for the little things in your life, it doesn't start off with big things. If you actively seek God in your life, you will find Him. You have to understand that time and space doesn't exist for Hashem. It's not part of the realm. Okay? Time and space is only for us down here. It's only for us to utilize to connect to God.
So if time and space does not exist for Hashem, but it exists for us, how does He make the connection point between the two realms?
There are two different realms. There's a realm of time and there's a realm of space. We have to use it constructively to try to connect, to elevate ourselves, to do tshuva as we have to actively ask Hashem, please, can I do this? We have to actively do good deeds. We have to actively try and be the best person that we can. And if we do that, when it's the proper time or in the proper place, you will find that your life is just more fulfilled. You will discover that you will become a better person, and you will discover that you will very easily see Hashem in your life. Like I coughed and I didn't cough for 25 minutes.
Okay.
To me, that was like, thank you, Hashem. It doesn't mean big things.
So I want to say something, Zach. I just want to say, when we learn about Hashem, and everybody must learn about Hashem, there are two aspects in Judaism. One is the learning of the physical world and how to behave in the physical world. That's called Nigle de Torah, the revealed part of Torah, to put on tefillin, to keep Shabbat. This is kosher, this is not kosher, this is allowed, etc. Pure and impure. And then there is the study of God. is the study of Hasidus. Hasidus talks about God. God is so great and so amazing that for him to create this world is like you saying A. Okay? If you count the amount of letters and words you spoke during your lifetime, and you're pretty young, is a lot of words. Imagine how important is it for you to say the word A, or an apple, right? A table. Is the A important for you? No. The word A is, for you saying that, is so unimportant and easy. For God, it was even easier for him to create the world. As much as we are excited and impressed by the physical world, it is nothing. It's unimportant. It's important because God created it. But relative to God, if you want to learn about God, the greatest of God is that this world is insignificant. He made it significant. He made it important. He makes us here. He creates us here. But it's all unimportant.
And
the
there
only
is
mitzvahs.
yeah.
God, you keep Shabbos not because God needs people to keep Shabbos. You keep Shabbos because that's how you connect to God, that great God. You put on tefillin, you say a bracha, you listen, you come to a class, you learn every day, because that's how you can connect to God. God doesn't need us to do mitzvahs. He wants us. He doesn't need us. He is not missing anything. So part of learning and changing is that even though we are in our struggle and we have to run out of Egypt and go into freedom, so that's what Pesach Sheni is getting at, into freedom. Freedom is realizing God's greatness, not just being bound in Egypt, not just not having to work every day of the week, is to be freed, to connect to something higher and better and bigger, to our Creator.
Yes, thank you for sharing. And during the video you played, I did tear up a little bit during that video, and I felt so much meaning, not from the actual content of the video, maybe that was an underlying force, but more so because I am so alone here, having this Zoom meeting and having this connection was so meaningful to me.
Okay.
Tune in every Thursday night, Zach.
I will come back next week.
Emerson Hashem, and also, the programs that are going on in your Jewish community by the leaders of the community, and that's just as important. But Dr. Levin said there are these two things. There's the revealed Torah. Okay, so there's the Torah. Okay, the 5 books, and all the other books about it. And then there's learning about God, which is referred to as Hasidus, or is how that was mentioned. And so, what book do you think that is? There's a book that you can go learn about God, at least one. What's the name of that book?
The Tanya.
All right. Are you reading it? And go online. There's courses, lessons. There's this, that.
Should I read it without understanding what I'm reading?
First do, and then you understand.
Go to Chabad.org. There is a Tanya class for a few minutes every single day.
What about this guy? I see his name's David. Last name starts with a G, and he's like this Kabbalah guy, and he and he talks about Kabbalah and the lessons of life. He's an influencer, speaks on stage.
No, that's not for you. You need to go to Chabad.org and learn Tanya.
You have to find out what is the word?
Well, maybe one of you can make a call to Rabbi Mendel in Port Orange and lock in my my Tanya session with him.
It's
Why
online.
don't you do that? You do that.
Okay.
You have to do it. You have to ask for it, but you can go online.
Yeah.
You
Yeah,
could
go
just
on.
open your iPad or computer and
Yeah.
get a Tanya class.
Oh,
And don't feel
Tanya.
bad, Zach. Just do it. I
Yeah.
am going to admit to you that I have not even started Tanya.
Zach, you have to be very
But don't
careful.
follow me. You go and do it.
Okay, Dr.
When
Holder.
you go online, Zach, and you find people that know the secret of life, and like this guy, whenever you see the word Kabbalah, okay, it all comes down to who you should be listening to. You have to check their pedigree. That was the word I couldn't think of. Their pedigree. What I think everyone would agree, although there's certainly lots of good pedigrees, one for sure, especially for all of us, and especially you, the pedigree should be Chabad. Then you know, as they say, it's kosher, it's safe, not going to be misleading, because there's a lot of bad stuff on the internet, Zach. A lot of bad
Okay.
stuff.
Okay. And then I know we're wrapping up. I did have sort of one final question. If I may. Do we still have a few minutes?
For you, all the time in the world.
So at the beginning of this call, I revealed that I discovered a character flaw about myself, which was what what people will say is narcissism. But my question is if narcissism is used in a proper way, is it possible that it can be a good thing? For example, comedians doing stand-up comedy, isn't narcissism their superpower? And they make millions of dollars telling their stories and doing comedy on stage in front of lots of people? Is that one example of how narcissism would be a positive thing? And then
No,
No.
it's a negative character defect. As a matter of fact, it has already killed probably one of the greatest comedians of our day, who committed suicide because of it.
what comedian?
Robin Williams.
Robin Williams. And that's just the beginning. I mean, it's so strong that it makes one want to think that there is a place for it. Um, and I would say that would only be that place where challenges go or are, so that one can choose to make oneself better than
What
that.
what is the difference between overconfidence and narcissism?
Confidence is not narcissism.
Narcissism is your ego. You are the greatest. You are above everybody else.
Yeah.
That's
Gaiba.
what narcissism is.
Gaiba. Gaiba is the Yiddish word for it.
Yes. Yeah. Hebrew.
And-
It's Hebrew, isn't it?
And you have to be very careful with it.
Oh boy.
You can think you're doing a good deed, and then you can think to yourself, oh, I am so terrific. Look what I did. I am better than that other person. You didn't do a good deed if that's the way you're going to think about your good deed.
Narcissists are very lonely people because they who wants to be around somebody like that? Look at Trump. He's your poster boy. Okay. He it doesn't mean he can't accomplish wonderful things. Okay, but I don't think he has too many friends. I think he's a pretty lonely person, which feeds that narcissism. And you're not picking up love from anybody else. Because you're pushing them away.
Yep. Agreed. Maybe it somehow helps him with his job, but it pushes away his friends and family.
A very sad place to be. He could still have accomplished all of the things he's accomplished without the narcissism didn't help him accomplish any of those things.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Levin, for doing Pesach Sheni.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You
See
all
you
have
next
a
week.
great night. Thank
Thank you.
you. Thank you for your time.
Zach, have some matzah tomorrow.
Okay. I'll find some. I'll go to Publix.
I just want to let you know, on Pesach Sheni, the second Lubavitcher Rebbe
Okay.
used to eat square matzah. You know, the
The kind from Publix.
the machine-made matzah.
Yeah.
I want. Okay.
And the Rebbe said, the Rebbe said, that the reason he did that to show and to give all the Yidden that eat handmade, not handmade matzah,
Machine
Machine-made.
machine
The
matzah,
square ones.
the credibility that is okay, it's kosher, it's okay to eat. So he used to eat that.
For sure. Thank you.
He
Yeah,
ate
that's
that
what,
at Pesach
that's what
Sheni
I've
because to show that this is a okay matzah to eat, not to disqualify that.
That's very nice. Thank you. Yeah, that's sort of what I would have access to tomorrow. And and there's one more thing I want to leave Dr. Levin with.
Yes.
I don't know how Dr. Holder will feel about me telling Dr. Levin this, but I'm going to tell him anyway.
Uh-oh.
No, it's okay. It's fine. When I was
Yes, go on.
when I was under the influence of psilocybin, I did see a burning bush.
Okay.
I don't know. I felt like I just wanted to tell you that, but Dr. Holder's, all good, all good.
You were under the influence. That's how you have to, exactly what you just said. When I was under the influence.
It's yep.
So it means nothing.
All right.
It's actually a separation from God.
I did
Okay.
not know that the Rebbe ate square matzah because in my house, my husband only ate square matzah.
I mean, I
and
meant
I only ate red matzah.
I meant Pesach Sheni.
No, I mean Pesach. My
No, but-
husband.
But I didn't say Pesach. I said
No,
Pesach
Pesach
Sheni.
I know to reinforce that those people who ate on Pesach machine matzah.
Right.
There was nothing wrong. And
That's
so I'm
right.
just telling you that in my house, my husband only ate square matzah and I only ate round matzah. We got through 42 years.
Okay.
Lots of matzah.
Lots of matzah. I'm going to finish my matzah, even if I had to eat it tomorrow.
Okay.
Laila
All
Tov
right.
and good Shabbos, everybody.
Thank you, Shabbos.
Good night.